Progressive Magazine exercise number 9 and 12 at the rate 100 word per minute. Be ready? Start. 55 years ago this day, almost at this hour, the Constituent Assembly met in this hall to herald India's freedom. That was an event which was unique in world history and which has no parallel in the political annals of any country, ancient or modern. A mighty empire had bowed down to the indomitable will of an unarmed nation whose sole strength lay in the abiding faith of her people in the power of spirit and of peaceful persuasion. Truth and non-violence, the father of our nation had insisted, were strong and sufficient weapons for a backward, poor and unorganized people to win them their birthright of freedom, both political and economic. This firm foundation prepared us for a life of dedication and hard work so that India may rediscover her greatness and march towards her manifest destiny of a peaceful, prosperous, and progressive existence in the community of nations. We can claim in all humility that despite periods of extreme stresses and strain, we have emerged today as a stable, well knit, and self reliant nation. When India got the right and the power to govern herself. We inherited an administration which had no direct relevance to the enormous task of bringing about a rapid transformation of an economically backward and industrially undeveloped country into a modern state. Independent India's constitution laid great emphasis on the promotion of welfare of the people by securing and protecting effectively a social order in which the justice, social, economic, and political shall inform all the institutions of national life. In election of our legislature's adult franchise was deliberately introduced so that the governments formed would have a widest possible representative character. It also meant that the people's needs and the people's voice should be the dominant consideration in all affairs of state. Our parliamentary system provides the necessary means and machinery for a process of orderly change and revolution by general consent. Politically, we have proved ourselves as a mature nation. All external threats to our national integrity and attempts at internal disruption have been dealt firmly by the united will of our people. Our strict adherence to the rule of law, the preservation of a judicial system capable of responding to the needs of a changing social order are manifestations of good government. We have emphasized that consideration of the general welfare should prevail over the rights of individuals. Next exercise. In a country as large as India with its social diversities and with a growing population, the programs of reconstruction are bound to be colossal and the needs in the separate of education, growing of sufficient food, provision of housing or other basic amenities to the people are continuous and ever increasing. But in meeting these needs, our unshakable aim is the building of an equitable society and an economic system in which there will be no exploitation of man by man. We have yet a long way to travel before we can make any claim to success. We have resources in land, water, and minerals such as very few countries have. Stop. Even making allowance for the vagaries of the weather, the country is capable of achieving self-sufficiency in regard to the basic requirements of our people. An integrated service-oriented program is an essential precondition for this. I have always advocated that planning for development to be realistic has to be started from the village level. I am glad that there is today in increasing realization of the need for this. Plans and programs are not intended to be mere assessment charts or arithmetical projections of national resources. Our commitment to the gigantic but inescapable task of the removal of poverty is a mandate for our people, and it has to be fulfilled in the quickest possible time and in the smoothest possible manner. The task must be tackled on a war footing, and this calls for collective efforts and collective wisdom on the part of every group and every individual in the country. The resources of the country which at the disposal of the states or at the disposal of the union are the common assets of the nation. Whether in the matter of sharing interstate water and power, in the equitable distribution of essential commodities including food supplies, or in the distribution of cement and steel for construction activities, to cite only a few examples, the guiding principle should be that we do the maximum good in our people as a whole. The prosperity and progress of every part of India is the concern of the whole nation. Every Indian born in this country has a right and a claim to be an equal share in that prosperity and progress. The state has a duty to take special care of the weaker sections of the community and the backward areas in different parts of the country. In helping to build them, the approach should be a positive program by which they will come up to the level of the rest of community. Stop.